Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Willow Corinthos Caitlin McMullen is headed on a trip to Germany to see her recuperating husband, Michael Corinthos, last played by Chad Jewell. Spoilers tease that Willow is ready to face Michael. Willow will be taking this trip, hoping to convince Michael not to sue for full custody of their children, Wiley Corinthos, Byron Weaver, and Amelia Corinthos, Serenity and Sequoia Mork Mako. Drew Kane Cameron Matheson would be fully aware that Willow plans to make this trip. Drew recently asked her to sign over custody of Wiley and Amelia to him if something should ever happen to her. There has been some strong indication that Drew is not actually Drew, and could be Shiloh, last played by Kobe Ryan McLaughlin, the cult leader of Dawn of Day that Willow and Michael both have history with. Willow's trip to Germany would be the perfect opportunity for Shiloh to make his move to get custody of the children. Willow arrives at the clinic where Michael is recuperating from the severe injuries that he sustained at Sunny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard condo fire, and is probably not aware that she is coming. Willow would plan to surprise Michael, and when he learns that she is there to see him, he would not want to see her. Willow would beg to see him, but the attendant would tell her that he is not interested in seeing her, and that she needs to leave immediately. However, we might just meet the recast Michael in his room, but that remains to be seen. Willow calls Drew and tells him that Michael wouldn't see her, and that she is going to fly back from Germany. Drew tells her that he will send a private plane and that she will be back in no time. Willow would tell him that she is sad that Michael wouldn't see her, but happy to come home and be with the kids. After hanging up, Drew would place another call. In a shocking moment, Drew would tell whoever is on the other end to make sure the plane never makes it back to Port Charles by any means necessary. Perhaps we would also get the reveal that Drew is in fact Shiloh. We may not actually see what happened to Willow's plane, but time would go by and Willow would not be back yet. Drew would probably get a call, while he is with Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, with news that the plane is missing, and is presumed to have crashed. Nina would be devastated that her daughter could very well be dead. Drew would feign devastation, but secretly elated that his plan is moving along as he had hoped. Now that Willow has been presumed dead, both Nina and Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, would demand that they take custody of the children until Michael is able to return to Port Charles. Drew would tell them that that won't be necessary, as Willow signed over custody of Wiley and Amelia to him in the event of her death, which would shock both of them. They both would vow to fight this, but Drew would tell them that the law is on his side. Carly would then start to grow suspicious that Drew might have been involved in the plane going down. Shiloh would then be pleased with himself as he planned everything perfectly, and is getting everything that he wants. Port Charles is about to be rocked by a devastating twist no one saw coming. Just when Willow Corinthos thought she had finally put her health struggles behind her, a mysterious trip to Germany takes a dark turn, and now she's vanished without a trace. Meanwhile, Drew Kane is forced to step up in a way that will change his life forever, by fighting for custody of Wiley and Amelia, and ultimately being granted full guardianship. A trip with good intentions turns into a nightmare. Willow had been looking forward to her trip to Germany for weeks. The visit was meant to be a short, peaceful trip to thank the doctors who had helped guide her stem cell recovery, and to discuss potential long-term wellness plans with an elite medical team. Michael had intended to join her, but was called away at the last minute on an emergency ELQ matter. Still, Willow reassured him that she'd be fine and promised to be back within a week. She never returned. Michael received a call from the hospital in Berlin 2 days after Willow's last scheduled appointment, not to confirm her departure, but to inform him that she had never shown up for her final consultation. She'd vanished from her hotel room, her phone left behind, and her passport untouched in the drawer. At first, Michael tried to stay calm. Maybe she had gone on a quiet walk, or decided to explore the city and lost track of time. But as hours turned into days, and then into a week, panic set in. The authorities in Germany launched an investigation, but leads were few and far between. Back home in Port Charles, the news of Willow's disappearance spread like wildfire, and triggered a custody crisis no one anticipated. A custody battle brews in Port Charles. With Willow missing and Michael increasingly unstable from the stress, concerns began to mount over the well-being of Wiley and Amelia. Carly stood firmly by her son, but even she began to acknowledge the toll it was taking on him. He was barely eating, barely sleeping, and completely consumed by his desperate attempts to bring Willow home. Enter Drew Kane. Having become a close friend and co-parent figure to both Michael and Willow over the last year, Drew stepped up to help with the kids. What started as weekend assistance soon became full-time care. He was the one taking Wiley to school, soothing Amelia through teething fits, and keeping the household functioning as Michael unraveled. Then came the intervention. Brooke Lynn, Sasha, and even Carly sat Michael down with a heartbreaking truth. For the sake of his children, he needed to consider stepping back, at least temporarily. At first, Michael was furious, refusing to believe he was unfit. But after Amelia had a frightening fall while under his distracted watch, he reluctantly agreed to give Drew temporary custody. Nina stirs the pot. Of course, it didn't take long for Nina to insert herself into the drama. Eager to regain a relationship with Wiley and prove herself as a grandmother, she petitioned for visitation, and hinted that perhaps she should take over primary custody if Willow didn't return. This didn't sit well with Drew or Carly, who saw the move as opportunistic. Drew made it clear in court filings that while Nina could have supervised visits, he was the more stable and long-term option for the children, and that he had Willow's verbal blessing from months earlier to act in their stead should anything happen. Courtroom bombshells and unexpected allies. The custody hearings were tense. Martin Gray represented Nina, using every trick in the book to paint Drew as a war-scarred executive with a shady past and unstable business dealings. But Diane Miller came out swinging for Drew, presenting witness after witness attesting to his selflessness, consistency, and devotion to the children. Even Sam testified, surprising everyone by stating, "If anything happened to me, I'd trust Drew with Scout. That's how much I believe in the kind of father he is." The real bombshell came when Brooke Lynn read aloud an email Willow had sent her weeks before leaving for Germany, where she wrote, "If for some reason I'm not around, I know Drew would love and protect Wiley and Amelia like they were his own. He's family." The judge took only a day to deliberate before ruling in favor of Drew, granting him full temporary custody pending Willow's return, and giving him sole authority over educational, medical, and day-to-day decisions. Michael's guilt and breakdown. Though Michael had agreed to step aside, the final ruling crushed him. For the first time, the reality hit him. His wife was missing, his children were now under another man's legal care, and he had no answers. He spiraled hard, pushing away those closest to him and drowning himself in work and guilt. Carly did her best to anchor him, but it was Drew who provided the unexpected support. Instead of holding the custody win over him, Drew offered a hand, including regular family dinners and open access to the kids. "This isn't about winning," he told Michael. "This is about keeping them safe until Willow comes home." But the question remains, what if Willow doesn't come back? What really happened to Willow? Back in Germany, investigators began piecing together a chilling theory. Surveillance footage showed Willow being followed by an unidentified woman at the hospital. Her disappearance coincided with the release of a former pharmaceutical executive, one with ties to Harmony Miller's old cult network, from a nearby prison. Could Willow have been abducted as part of a revenge plot against Harmony? Or is there something even more sinister at play? In a shocking twist, the German police uncovered a hidden journal in Willow's hotel room. Inside were scribbled notes about feeling watched, and a mysterious contact listed only as EM, initials that fans immediately speculated might refer to Esme Prince, who had supposedly vanished months earlier after her own run-in with the law. What's next in Port Charles? As the search for Willow intensifies overseas, Drew's new role as guardian will test everything: his patience, his loyalty, and his ability to keep the kids shielded from the chaos brewing around them. Meanwhile, Nina isn't done fighting. Word is she's preparing a fresh appeal, armed with new evidence that she claims will discredit Drew's fitness as a parent. But Carly, Sam, and Diane are already one step ahead, forming an unlikely alliance to protect the children and expose Nina's manipulation. And in the final scenes of next week's episodes, a shocking cliffhanger promises to change everything. A woman with long blonde hair is seen being led through a dark hallway by masked men. The camera zooms in just enough to reveal a familiar locket hanging from her neck, the one Willow never took off. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our GH News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.